Welcome to Red-tastic. Story 1. My fiancé, 28 female, and I, 30 male, adopted a Sphynx cat 4 months ago, and my mother-in-law has hated it since day one. She calls it a demon cat and a bad omen. She's extremely superstitious and has made her dislike for the cat abundantly clear, to the point where it's becoming a recurring issue. Yesterday, we returned home after attending my grandma's funeral out of state, only to find that our cat was gone. We were frantic, and when we asked my mother-in-law about it, she pretended she didn't know anything. Thankfully, we have security cameras, and when we checked the footage, we saw her letting the cat out the back door. I was devastated and furious. I asked her to leave immediately, and she said I was disrespectful to elders. I discussed it with my fiancé, and I told her I was no longer willing to pay for mother-in-law to be our housekeeper. 8 months ago, when we moved into our new home, my fiancé wanted to ease her mom's financial burden, so we agreed that we would give her an allowance for coming over twice a week to help clean. My mother-in-law has been a housekeeper her whole life, and my fiancé wanted to help her out since she was getting older. I agreed back then, but after what happened with our cat, I told my fiancé that I didn't feel comfortable continuing to pay her. We can afford a full-time housekeeper easily if we throw in a couple $100 more. Now, mother-in-law is upset, and my fiancé says I'm being too harsh. She thinks that by cutting her mom off, I'm forcing her back into full-time work as a housekeeper, and that it's like sending her back to cleaning toilets. I get that at her age it's rough, but loathe her after what she did. She went behind our backs, lied to us, and let our pet out, knowing how much it means to us, simply because she doesn't like it. I don't want to come off as cruel to my fiancé, but I also think that what her mother did was inhuman, criminal even, and I don't want her around our home anymore. Should I reconsider? Update. I wanted to update everyone. I found my cat. It turns out it was with our neighbors 3 doors down, and it's safe and sound now. The poor thing seems to have some separation anxiety after what happened, but I'm so relieved it's back home. As for my mother-in-law, I've blocked her completely. I can't have her in my house anymore. It's not safe for my furless baby. My fiancé and her sisters gave mother-in-law a good piece of their mind, and they're all really upset with her. Mother-in-law did try to backtrack, but then she started blaming my fiancé for everything, and it led to a big argument between them. Now my fiancé isn't speaking to her mother either. My cat is doing well, and we're focusing on making it feel safe again. That's all for now, thanks to everyone who offered support. I'm so glad you got your furry baby back, OP. Your mother-in-law sucks for letting the cat out and lying through her teeth about it. She had no right to do that, no matter what she believed to be true about the cat, because it doesn't belong to her, and I totally understand why you don't trust her or want her in your house anymore. I honestly wouldn't either. It's a good thing your fiancé is with you on this now. It just shows how terrible her mother's behavior is. Take very good care of your cat, and I hope you're able to help your cat over its separation anxiety. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend that she shouldn't help the waiters? Under a different name because my girlfriend uses Reddit, but me and my girlfriend are from 2 different cultures. She's American, I'm Swedish. We live together and travel a lot together. It was her first time at a fancy hotel in Sweden that provides bed and breakfast too, sort of a buffet-like setting. As we are finishing up, she starts piling the dishes and cups. She usually does this at restaurants, and I always found it weird. But I told her to stop because this time it's more embarrassing if she does it at a hotel's breakfast. She got upset and told me there is nothing to be embarrassed about, and that she was just going to walk over to the busing table and drop them off. I told her to stop because she will cost them their jobs. She got really upset with this and just piled all the dishes and left the eating space and went up to our room. I get up and follow her and ask what's wrong once we get to our room. She tells me she doesn't see what the problem was and why I would be embarrassed by this. I told her it's because we don't do this in Sweden and that it's considered weird. I told her I know she's trying to be nice, but what if the manager saw this and he fined the person for not doing their job? I told her that if she kept doing this, she would cost bussers and waiters their jobs. If all people did this, people would be out of jobs. It's not a matter of trying to be nice or not. She got extremely upset at this and reminded me she used to work in food service, but I told her regardless of that, we don't do that in Scandinavia. She hasn't talked to me for the rest of the trip. I don't know what I did wrong. I'm just trying to save us the embarrassment. I know she has a soft spot for service workers because she used to be one, but I just think she needs to know that we don't do things the way she does. Am I being the a-hole Reddit, or is my girlfriend being unreasonable? I don't think you're the a-hole OP. I understand that your girlfriend is coming from a place of kindness, but I believe every country has its own unsaid set of rules. If you've told her to not do this in Sweden because you know doing this will cause a waiter or waitress a job, and you don't want these people to lose their jobs, then I believe she should take your word for it and express her kindness differently, maybe by giving more tips. Regardless, you shouldn't say you're embarrassed of her behavior, though this probably hurt her deeply. You need to apologize for that. Now for some comments. Just to clarify, you're traveling in Sweden, right? Anyway, not the a-hole. I'm American and would 100% trust a Swedish person's word on this. Also, other things including when and where to cross the street, whether tipping is appropriate, how to ask directions from a stranger, and any number of things. I would want to learn the right way to do this, and I would assume you would know. You're the a-hole. You keep worrying about her taking their jobs. If they were doing their jobs so well, this would be a moot point, and the dishes would be cleared when you finished eating. Her behavior is a bit unconventional, but you are being a jerk to your girlfriend about an old couple looking at you funny that you will literally never see again, and protecting the jobs of people that don't seem to be that awesome anyway. Not the a-hole. I used to work in food service in America, and we don't like it when customers do it here either. Number 1, your manager thinks you're slacking if they see it. Number 2, 90% of people do not stack the way that the server prefers, leaving silverware or napkins between the plates, not balancing things correctly, etc. Also, when traveling, you need to follow local social conventions, whether you agree with them or not. Does she often react this way when criticized or corrected? It seems like it's a sign of a bigger problem. Also, the silent treatment is a huge red flag. Refusing to communicate in a relationship is never acceptable. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for ruining my girlfriend's video game? As most of you know, Nintendo Switches are sold out absolutely everywhere. My girlfriend and I have been trying for weeks to get one with no luck. So with the release of the new Animal Crossing game and nothing to play it on, my girlfriend decided she would pull out her old GameCube and play the original game for some nostalgia in the meantime. Now, I had never played the game before, so when she first started playing, I wasn't interested in the slightest. But after a couple of weeks of seeing her play, I asked if I could try it. And I am absolutely hooked. My girlfriend is an essential worker while I'm not, so I usually play during the day, while she plays in the evening. She was pretty far ahead of me with her house and items, so I've been really grinding to catch up. My usual gameplay involves farming and selling all the resources I can, and then skipping to the next day to do it all again. A few days ago, I was running around our town when I noticed a gold tree, and when I shook it, a golden shovel fell out. When my girlfriend came home, I excitedly told her about it, and that's when she completely blew off. Apparently, she somehow grew that shovel herself, and it was meant for her and only her, and I'm ruining her game by taking everything. She's making no progress in her museum because I collect and sell all the fossils. She can't make any money because I take everything worth anything during the day while she's at work. And apparently I'm giving her house cockroaches. She told me I'm not allowed to play anymore unless I play fair. My argument is that she had weeks before I started playing to collect things, so it's only fair that I get everything until I can catch up. And there are still things she can do while she plays, like catch fish and do favors for animals. She also gets to leave and go to work every day while I'm cooped up here, so I need the entertainment more. Now we're at a standoff where she's refusing to play anymore because I ruined the game for her. Am I the a-hole? Edit. For everyone suggesting separate save files in Animal Crossing, there are 4 houses in a shared town. So you live alongside the other players. We can't make a second town due to memory card space. Now for some comments. You're the a-hole for hoarding resources and activities in a game that belongs to her and not displaying good sportsmanship. For acting like you deserve more entertainment because you get to stay at home and your girlfriend is an essential worker. You are safe at home. She is taking a risk every time she goes out. She deserves to come back to her game to unwind. You're the a-hole. Buy your own memory card and make your own town. You should just buy your own GameCube and disc if you like playing it so much, or you could use an emulator on a PC. We gamers value our single-player saves like our children. You couldn't have known, and I'm always happy to see more gamers. But don't play in her game if you don't know exactly what you're doing. Also, and I know this sounds stupid, please get her permission before you play every time. Save files are one of the few things that give us control. Don't take it away from her. Sorry, but you're the a-hole here. If you want to time travel, you need to get your own memory card and play your own game. Doing what you're doing directly affects her game experience. I can see how you might not have known or considered these things, but once she made her feelings clear, you should have taken steps to resolve the issue. I mean, come on. How is she supposed to get anywhere in the game if you're monopolizing all of the resources? What if you've ruined her turnip investment? She just wants something to relax with at the end of the day. Make some accommodations for her and order yourself a new memory card.